Hello, this is Michelle from WoollyRhinoCrafts. Prepare yourself for a long video. It's going to start with some hand assembly. These are hand parts. This black part here is the top of the hand. This part of the hand. And this part, the yellow, is the palm. Palm of the hand. And this tiny thing is the thumb. It's optional. I understand if you want to leave it off. Anyway, grab your two main hand parts and we're gonna put them together. Then I like to tie these two ending tails together. This holds the pieces in place, and it also can make it easier to get the tails out of the way when they're attached to each other. Just like that. And they're going to be hidden inside. Then grab the thumb and put the thumb kind of in thumb position. It's probably going to fall out. It's so small there's no point even pinning it. But you want to sandwich it in there. You kind of get the idea. We're going to do something so it doesn't fall out in just a second. Alright. Grab some fresh black yarn, join it at the corner. I like to start at the thumb corner just to deal with it quickly. It's not going to stay for the first couple stitches. You want the right side of your slip stitches for this slip stitch edge to be facing the back of the hand. If you haven't noticed, somehow I do crochet backwards. I hope that doesn't confuse you. But anyway, work a slip stitch or two into the thumb side of the hand. And then we're going to grab the thumb and put it back. We can use its tails to yank it through and get it into position. And then what we're going to do is continue the edging around the thumb, and that's what's going to attach it to the hand. And start in the, this is such a pain. Start in the bottom of the thumb and just work up the side. It's also a pain for me to stay in frame. This is tiny. It's very hard to work with. An absolute pain in the butt, but these little details really make the finished Claptrap cool if you have the patience to deal with them. Anyway, work down the other side of the thumb, like so. Black also makes it hard to work with. It's literally tiny. The thumb is one row. It's like 4 stitches. It is a nightmare. And I see, look at me struggling. I can't see it, it's tiny, and now we're back in the hand. So continue your slip stitch edging up towards the end of the hand. Claptrap's hands are kind of like paddles. I never made it without the thumb. I don't know what it would look like without it. But I guess it's optional because it's a hassle. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. I understand. And you'll just slip stitch around the two hand halves. Work up to the end. You don't need to chain any in the end of the hand because you don't really want it to be pointed. You can just work around it. If you want to do 2 slip stitches in the top, that's fine. Do what you think looks good. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know if you know, make a tiny mistake or leave off 1 stitch. I swear no one's gonna know. I work 2 slip stitches in the top. Now head on back down the other side. Working with the slip stitches with the right side on the black side of the hand creates this kind of neat extra black line detail on the palm that I like. And again, I really love tiny details. I sort of hate them, but also I love them once they're done. Now head on to this corner. Again, you don't need a chain here. Just work on in there. You can work 2 slip stitches if you want. I did a tight kind of tie off. Now we got to deal with all these extra tails. Trim them, and then we're going to just jam them inside of the hand and leave that one long tail, because that's how we're going to attach the hand to the wrist in a little bit. That's also in this video. I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning. Make sure not to tangle your tail into your working yarn. Now just slip stitch along this last edge. I'm out of the frame. I'm so sorry. I'm really bad at videos. Maybe with practice I'll get better. I don't know. You get the idea though, I hope. This isn't hard. It's just small. It's a pain, but it's not difficult. It's no like crazy skills are involved by any means. You want to finish up, and then you will slip stitch into that first slip stitch that you did to kind of finish it off and give it a finished look there on around the edges and for that black line on the inside of the palm. There's a finished hand with a nice little thumb. And you can trim that tail. And then we're going to pull it inside the hand too. Get it out of the way. And I think it's handy to use the end of your hook to kind of jam tails in like that. And ta-da! Claptrap hand. Tiny. Now we're going to attach the hand to the lower arm at the wrist like so. And let's thread the yarn needle, and we're going to use whip stitch for this. And if you worked in back loops only, you're going to have a lot of nice exposed front loops to work with for this attaching. Just whip stitch around. It doesn't need to be super pretty. It just needs to be secure. You don't want this hand flopping around. So work on up. And be sure to get the end here. Work in those front loops if you've got them. See, that looks pretty decent. And it's a very secure stitch. Now let's grab these yellow loops right here in the hand. And we're going to work into whatever's closest in the right spot. We basically want to go kind of a row down on the wrist to give the wrist good stability, so no floppy hands. And we're almost done. Tie it off at the end. And then we're going to hide this tail again as soon as we do a nice knot. And we're going to feed it right on through and then trim it. Pull it and trim it close. If you've got any sticking out, again, you can use the end of a crochet hook to sort of jimmy it inside. And that's it. Here's a finished right hand and arm. And be sure to check the description for pertinent links, including the full pattern. Thanks for watching. And I'm still trying to get this tail in here. All right, look at that nice thumb. Look at that hand. Stable wrist, nice arm, angled. Incredible. Beautiful. Again, thank you for watching. There's lots of videos that go along with this pattern. The pattern's a lot of pages, and the arm will go kind of right about there. But there's some surface crochet. There's a separate video for the surface crochet on the shoulder. All right, thanks. Bye.